installing point motors on Halton Warren OO9's fiddle yard. But why are we in the kitchen? Hi, welcome back to Halton Warren OO9. I'm Mark. Baseball set up in the kitchen for some work to be done. So how did I get away with that? Because we know what the views of my wife are about working in the house. She's gone away for a week. Very convenient. She's off to Spain with a girly mate. So I've snuck in here. Thought about doing the work outside, but this is going to be a fairly long project. I'm going to put all the point motors on today and maybe start the wiring. So yeah, could have done it outside. At the moment it's bright and sunny, but it's absolutely sodden out there. There was a heavy dew overnight, the grass is wet, and outside the railway shed, if I keep walking around, I'm just going to turn it into a mud patch. So, let's get on with it. Right, so which point motors I'm using? I'm going to go for the Cobalt IP analog point motors from DCC Concepts. I got these from AGR Model Railways in Leighton Buzzard. They're my go-to model railway shop. It's close, well, saying close, it's about 6-7 miles up the road, but the owner, Anthony, very helpful guy. I buy my stuff there. Sometimes you can get it cheaper online, but you want to help out your local suppliers, really, don't you? There's so many model shops disappearing. Anyway, why have I gone for these? I was originally going to go with solenoid motors. Now up in the shed I've had problems with those. The damp's got into them and it's affected their work. I could have gone for the digital versions, which meant I could have just wired them straight onto the bus wire or a bus wire and sent the signal through to them then. But as I said, I was going to use the Pico solenoid motors, and I bought the DigiKeys accessory controllers for those, so I've got those already in place. So I thought, instead of just not using them or getting rid of them, throwing them out, I'll get the analog point motors, which can go into the DR4088, I believe it is. So that's why I've gone for these. I've got 2 boxes. There's 12 in that box, 6 in this box. Why I bought the 6 down from the shed, I don't know. I've got 11 point motors to fix today. So there's 12 in this box, all ready to go. This is a multi-pack, do not sell separately. They're tiny, they're quite nice. So when we open them up, I was expecting them to be in blister packs here, but they're not. So that's slightly disappointing, because they should come with the little pads to stick them on, and these haven't. So I should have looked into that more, unless they're hiding under here. Ah, there you go. You see, spoke too soon. So we've got the wires and the little connectors that go on here to limit the wires how much they move. We've got our sticky pads, and there's loads of screws in here as well. So we've got everything we need. So that's good. I can get on with that. I'm going to install them all first of all, and then I'm going to do the wiring a bit later. Whether I get onto this today, I don't know. It's Saturday, so I should have 2 days, but tomorrow I'm off to a model railway exhibition up in Milton Keynes, the Great Electric Train Show. So I'm going to lose most of tomorrow, but we'll see how far we get with these anyway. Okay, so I've taken the plastic bags of the little accessories. There are 12 of them, there's 12 points. There's also 2 bags of sticky pads. So we've got everything we need for each of the point motors. So what I need, I've got 11 to do. So instead of doing one, going over there and put it on the board, do another one, I'm going to get them all set up here now. And then I'll get onto the board a bit later. So hopefully it's just a bit more organised that way. So there's the point motor. In the bag, you get a fulcrum, which then slides into these guidelines on the back, and then it's quite a tight fit, so that's nice. It's a nice, it doesn't slop around and fall out. You've got 5 screws here to screw it in, 1, 2, 3, 4, so to give you extra screw, that's nice. The wire has to go into the top hole here, and through the centre hole on here. I suppose it's if you've got a strange angle, then you can put it in other ways, but yeah, so we've got to thread it through the middle hole on the fulcrum. See if I can see it. There we go, that's it, gone in. Then this bit is the difficult bit with my shakes. I always find they slip round as well, wires, when you try and do it. Get in there, that's it, right. Hold that in point. Now, they give you a tiny little screw with a very wide head on it. They actually call it a washer in the instructions, but that has got to go in the bottom hole. My screwdriver is slightly magnetic, which is good. And then tighten it up. You don't want to over tighten these, obviously. It's only just keeping that pin from slopping out. So there's one done. And the next bit to do is put one of your sticky pads on. And obviously with this, you've got to line the holes up, and you only want to unpeel one side at a time because you don't want to undo the other side until you stick it onto the baseboard. Just put that on there. And that's it, that's ready to go. Now this is going to be too long, but I'm going to put them in. I might put the first one in, measure off where it needs to go, and then cut all the others to match it. So what I'm going to do now is just put all the rest together. That was fairly simple, wasn't it? So, clear a bit of space. There's one there, there's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one to spare. Right, and the next please. So I'm going to do these, and I'm just going to speed you up while I do them. Okay, so the easiest way to set these up is that the point motors, as I pointed out, are already centered, so the wire is pointing straight vertically up from the motor. Obviously when you operate the motor, the wire slides from side to side, and that's what throws the point. But what you need is those are centralised, so really you need the points centralised as well. Now obviously with the way the blades are set, they can either be open or closed, so you've got to hold them in place. And I found the easiest way to do that is you can use cardboard. I've just used a couple of slithers off an old plastic membership card, like a debit card. Put a bit of masking tape around it just to thicken them up a bit, and then these just slide between the blades and the actual rails.
just a bit like this. So one on one side, and it probably would have been easier to start on the bottom one first. So I've just pushed the point across and slide in the lower one. So because these are both the same thickness, that point should be set centrally now. And my hole is just down here on the bottom of the arm. So I just push the point motor in from the other side and it should all line up nicely. So the next stage is to actually install the point motors. So I've got my point, the other side, all centralised up. We've got the point motor that is central as well, so it's just a matter of poking this through and screwing them in place. That's easier said than done because I haven't given myself a lot of space at the top. So what I'm going to do is carefully feed this through and just see the hole in the point. That's it, right. And get that as square as I can. They do slide around on these little sticky pads, but that seems to be about right there. So what I'm just going to do is find the slots. Take that out again. Right. Now the screws they give you, I'm a bit worried because they're quite thick. So what I've done is set up my Dremel and I'm just going to put, so excuse the noise, but I'm just going to put not pilot holes as such, but just little indentations really to get the screws started. If I can keep the drill square. Always do that, turn it the wrong way. Right, get me railway mug with my screws in. Take out two to start with. Get my screwdriver ready. Get rid of the scalpel because we're not going to need that. Don't want that dropping on my foot or anything. Right, so we've got to line this up again. Put the screws where we can reach them. Right, I'm taking the backing strip off here, so I've got the pad. Hopefully I can get that lined up more or less with where it was before firming it down. Cool, that don't give you a lot of leeway, that's stuck on there already. That was quite a firm pad, so I'm not sure I'm going to put all 4 screws in. I might just get away with 2. One screw in. Right, that isn't going to go anywhere. So put the next one in.
Right, okay, so there's all the point motors, they're all installed. One or two of them haven't gone in quite as straight as I would have liked. The other thing is, what I wanted to do was these point motors face that way and these ones also face that way. Now what I wanted to do was have it so they all face the direction of the loop, and that would have meant that all the branches coming in and coming off this way would have had the wires all round the right way, all round the same way. But it's not going to matter. I mean, it's just my little bit of OCD maybe coming in. Now what you can see down here as well, there's already wiring in place. So these are the wires that come off the points, and they are for the just the supply of power. So they're going into these terminal blocks. The ones you can see hanging down are already in for when I do the block detection. There's one of my previous videos, I'll just put a link to that on here. But I'm going to use the DigiKeys DR5013 for my block detection. So over this end, which is the start of the loop, the trains will come in here and then go around and loop back out again. So the block detection here, and for the auto reverse, I need 4 sets of wiring, and this wiring is already in. It's colour coded the same as DigiKeys do in their instructions, but we'll get onto the wiring side a bit later. Well, that's been a bit of a productive day then, hasn't it? I've got my point motors in place. I've started to cut some of the wire, but I won't get onto the wiring tonight. I've got now pack up. I've drilled a couple of holes through the baseboard because these wires from, well, just about everything here need to feed up to the pull-out tray that's going to be situated above here with the DigiKeys components on. Not sure how I'm going to do the cabling between here and the pull-out tray. It's going to be quite a bundle of cables going up there, or wires going up there. I've thought about using these like, I don't know what they're called, D connectors or something, the sort of thing that you use in computers. So I'll put a socket on here, socket on the tray, and then connect the two up with those screw-in plug sockets. But that's to be explored later. Thank you for watching, hope you found it interesting. I am now up to 20 subscribers, so last time I spoke it was video 11 and 14 subscribers, now video 12 and 20. It's growing, so thank you for that. My fault, I'm not putting enough stuff on the channel, I suppose, to attract people in. I have got a little plan for that, so just keep your eyes open for that one. But anyway, as I say, for now, thanks a lot for watching and see you next time. Bye.